going. So the A1C is a convenient mark. Patients like it because it's a good number to focus in on, but it may be misleading, like I said, for the phenomenon of people who may produce too much A1C relative to sugar versus the opposite. And you still got to look at those numbers. Then I want to turn it over to my colleague, but I am bothered by cost effectiveness is going to become a watchword of the new administration. But I will tell you something very important. There are two studies which really show that if you give the patient a number to follow and have them continue to follow that number, they will achieve whatever you want them to achieve. And there is data suggesting that for type 2, once you've achieved the number, you can back off a little bit. Number one, my patients are extremely type A's, and they love to get numbers. I like to crunch the numbers, but they continue to maintain healthy lifestyles. They want that sugar to be normal, but it really does, if it goes up a little bit, but it really encourages, because I don't layer on more medication, but it encourages them to do more exercise, physical activity, to tighten up the new. A fellow just called me up the other day. He said, I know why my sugars are up because I'm doing this, that, and the other thing, and I promise you I'm going to start exercising more, I'm going to control my sugar. So I absolutely, totally ignoring the concept of cost effectiveness, absolutely continue to insist that my patients with the type 2 diabetes monitor their sugars twice a day, fasting in 2 hours. It cannot be justified based on cost effectiveness, may even be considered unnecessary, but I beg to differ. I think it's very nice. When you give a patient a target to follow, he or she is much more likely to continue to achieve that goal. And diabetes is a lifelong struggle to maintain good health until we cure diabetes, which may happen in the next 10 years. So, not cost effective. Obama may not like it, but I like my patients to continue to monitor their blood. And I really prefer monitoring the sugars along with the A1C. But I'd be delighted to hear Dr. Clark and Dr. Mechanic. Do you want to weigh in on the question about A1C targets in type 2 diabetes?
Not much to say after you've done. I think it boils down to informed judgment, ultimately, that we still don't, number one, have enough critical mass understanding the biology of the disease. Number two, there are emerging technologies that now give us various levels of monitoring in terms of home blood glucose monitoring, glycemar, A1C, and then clinical status. So based on your subset population, for instance, is it a woman desiring pregnancy where your A1C target is going to be even less than 6.5? Is it going to be an affluent type A patient who can easily adhere to very strict finger stick control, wants that A1C every 6 weeks or 8 weeks? Or is it somebody who professes to not know about their diabetes, doesn't want to know about their diabetes, and perhaps may even react with self-administration of insulin, not adhering to instructions? There you may want to deliberately float the control a little bit higher to protect the patient from the ill effects of hypoglycemia. So there isn't an answer, a single answer that you're looking for, but rather it's informed judgment, and in order to get informed judgment, you require good education. Education not only in training, but continuing education by going to society meetings and experience.
Dr. Clark, what would you like to tell me?
The only very brief comment I'd make is, in terms of your issue of A1C, is this is a very, very timely question. And there'll be discussion at this meeting, and there'll certainly be discussion at the upcoming ADA meeting, because at that meeting they're likely to announce the results of a panel they put together to look at the use of A1C for the diagnosis of diabetes. And integral to that will be the answer to your question of what is a normal A1C in somebody who does not have diabetes, as well as the question of what A1C goal should be in the person that has diagnosed diabetes. But basically, we're stuck with the biology that we're, in many diseases, you either have it because you have something or you don't. Diabetes is a continuous variable, and where you draw that line to say normal, pre-diabetes, diabetes has been the subject of enormous controversy over the years. So stay tuned.
It's nice to have such a clear-cut answer to these questions. Any other questions? We're running out of time. Okay, thanks everyone for attending. Just by way of a reminder, the audio and video once again will be available on media.ace.com. Thanks.